Here's an example of a time when I had a really bad business bedside manner. So this one's in the book. For those of you that have read the book or got the book, this might sound a little familiar. There are a couple added details. But back in September 11th, September 2001, I was a catering sales manager at a local hotel. Now, I had just started working there. I should have been fired. I had the least amount of seniority. So after September 11th, when they laid everybody off, I somehow kept my job. And the way I kept my job was that I booked military events. And their military events were the only events that were actually happening at that time. So I became an expert in military events. I did them all. I did the Marine Corps Ball, the Navy Squadron events, the retirement dinners. I was hanging out on the Navy bases. I buddied up with the admirals, and I gained a deep knowledge of how to operate a military event at a hotel. It's really the only way I kept my job after September 11th. So I was really motivated to continue with it. I had heard an aircraft carrier was coming back to San Diego, and the carrier had been deployed for 2 years. So while it was deployed, September 11th had happened. I convinced my boss to allow me to allocate a part of our funds to sponsor a welcome table for the ship's arrival. My new military contacts, they actually permitted me to have a table right on the arrival pad. I was literally 30 feet from the water. And this was where all the military families were going to be welcoming everybody home as they were coming off of the ship. I wanted them so bad just to see my table with the hotel's branding when they arrived, so they knew that our community supported them. But let's be honest, I just wanted them to see my hotel's name so they would think of me the next time they have an event, because I'm sure that's the first thing on their mind after coming home after 2 years at sea. I muscled my way in. I scored the prime table. I made friends with the military spouses, and I even attended weekly homecoming meetings that headed up to the actual homecoming event. I got pretty aggressive at those meetings. I was annoying. I am sure they thought I was crazy. I was obsessed, and they looked at me like I was crazy. I was so motivated to get maximum visibility for my hotel that I completely lost sight of what was happening in the lives of the people that were actually going to be at the event. These people hadn't seen their loved ones in 2 years. Babies were born while they were gone, and they hadn't met their parents yet. Spouses had gained weight, and they were feeling insecure about their appearance, and they were worried about their partner's reactions. Service people's parents had passed while they were gone, and so aunts and uncles were stepping in to greet them. These were all the conversations that people were having at these meetings leading up to it. I knew it. I just didn't pay attention to it. People were so excited to see their dad, their mom, their spouse, their kid. That's what was on their mind that day. And the people on the ship, they had been in the Middle East. The United States had been attacked while we were at sea. They had no idea what to expect when they were coming back to San Diego. They had seen death. They had experiences that they can't talk about. And there I was with my pastries and my casual corner suit and my cheap pumps, hoping they'd remember my hotel to book their events. What was wrong with me? What was I thinking? I was so blinded by my career ambition and so motivated just to keep my job that I completely forgot what was happening around me, and I completely missed the experience of what my clients and their families were having that day. So the day came, I arrived early to set my table up with the perfect placement. I erected the banner, I laid out the pastries, and then I looked around. The gravity of the situation, it hit me, and it hit me really hard at that moment. And I'm embarrassed to say it didn't hit me before. It didn't hit me at those 7 homecoming meetings I had, or while I was setting up, or while I was talking to all the admirals about how excited they were that the troops were coming home. But I looked around, and the gravity of the situation hit me. The crowd, they had all these welcome home signs. Everybody was in their places. There was a silent anticipation in the crowd on that welcome pad. And as this huge aircraft carrier pulled in, hundreds of service people, they stood on the ship saluting as the ship rolled in. They looked like statues, stoically staring past all of us. As the ship came in, "It's a Beautiful Day" by U2 was playing. I will never forget this visual. And as the ship got closer and closer, "It's a Beautiful Day" got louder and louder. The ship docked, and it docked right in front of us. And as soon as the gate opened, there were loud roars and cheers from the people on the ships to all the families. A cheering erupted from both sides. I started crying. I was sobbing. I watched all these families reunite at my perfectly placed table just 30 feet from the water. This was a private moment for them. I didn't belong there. That wasn't my place. But I realized it just a little too late. I stood humbly at my table, not even saying my hotel name, and I just gave anyone that came to see me a pastry. I'm pretty sure they thought I worked for the mess hall on the base at that moment, but that was fine. I finally understood that that wasn't my time to hand out business cards or to shout my hotel name at the top of my lungs. My role in that moment was to be compassionate and welcoming. I still regret to this day, so many years later, that aggressive stance that I took with those military spouses at those pre-meetings. I quickly got a piece of humble pie that day that I will never forget. That was the day I learned about having a good business bedside manner.